So we have our threaded rod. We have bags B42, B41. We have one more stepper motor and these two plastic pieces. Okay, I'm going to take the plastic off these, or the outside, and then we'll get to mounting. Okay, so firstly on our T-nut brackets. One thing you're going to find with this setup is this is actually going to be too long, and it's going to be really hard to line this threaded rod up. I've created a file that actually uses a smaller one of this, but you can't print it out until you get your printer working. So it is possible to get the printer all working with the included bracket. So I'm going to go ahead and use it just to show you, and then I'll do another video later showing the upgraded one. So we're going to open bag B41, and in here we have our big brass T-nut and the nuts and bolts for that, and then the two M4s with T-nuts for this guy. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and just take this T-nut, goes on like this. Okay, and just put these M3 bolts through, and then a nut on the other side, and just tighten them up. Finish T-nut on the deal there. Okay. So we're going to put our T-nuts on the opposite way, with the nuts coming through the top, or the nuts being on the top. Like so. Okay, and then our motor mount, B42 bag. We've got 3 more M4s with T-nuts that are going to go in these 3 holes. It's going to mount up top like so. Yeah, maybe about a ½ inch away from the edge, and then you also want to push it forward as far as you can, and then go ahead and tighten that guy up. This guy didn't want to spin. There we go. All right. The Z motor is going to go up on top with the cable either pointing out or to the side. It doesn't really matter. And that's going to be your they only give me 3 nuts for that guy? Huh. Well, hopefully you have 4 bolts for this guy. I apparently have 3, which is actually okay. I'm sure there's a spare somewhere. But for now, I'm going to put these 3 on. Oh, and you want to push the motor as far forward as you can as well. Okay. And then one trick I use here is I get a piece of string or a piece of wire. Get a piece of string, and I actually will tie this guy up kind of about halfway, just so it's kind of out of the way and not falling on me. All right, and it gives me some room to work with this guy underneath here. So this guy with the T-nut is going to go up underneath into this groove that's on the bottom of the x-axis. All right, again, you want to push that as forward as possible, and you want to try to line it up as best you can with the motor, but we're going to have to adjust it. So don't put it in super tight. We can slide it over to the side and put in our threaded rod. That's probably pretty close. So we have this coupling that will attach this rod to the motor. Okay, smaller end goes on the motor, bigger end goes on the threaded rod. So we'll go ahead and loosen up these Allens, these set screws. We'll slide that right onto the shaft as far as it'll go. Tighten it on there. Okay. And we might need to go down a little bit further. And then we can move it over here to where the motor is. And we can screw it back up. And again, we want the motor shaft has one flat spot on it, on the motor shaft. So what we want to do is make sure at least one of our Allen screws, our set screws, actually lines up with that. So right about there is probably good. Oops. All right, and now this guy has relaxed as best it can. We're going to go ahead and tighten it up. It's a little difficult without moving it around. You get a little tight. Make sure it's spinning okay. Little squeakies. You might need to adjust this a bit later once we get all the electronics wired up. But for now, it should hold this guy in place now. All right, and we have our Z done. And then we just need to do belts and put our bed on, and we're in pretty good shape.